Dunkirk is a pile of rubbish. The wreckage of bomb-shattered buildings chokes its streets. Flames crackle and smoke swirl through the center of town as fires spread unchecked. Dead French soldiers lie where they fell. With no exceptions, every building in the sky, the home of 33,000 persons, was destroyed. Nothing was left intact. Welcome to Ill-Equipped History, where two best friends tell you about something that happened. I'm Emileigh, and this is Morgan.
Hi.
Hey.
Something happened at some time.
Something happened at some point during time.
But just back then. not
back then.
Not over there, back then.
Back then. Yonder and back, yes.
Yeah.
Back then. Anyway, Morgan, how are you doing?
I'm hanging in there, back to work. Woohoo.
Yay.
How are you?
Hanging in there. We're almost back to school.
You're about to have your days back.
I know. And I feel like half of me is guilty that I'm excited for them to go back to school because I love watching them grow and blossom and do awesome things at school. But also, since I work from home, it is really hard to have them there.
Yeah.
But that's okay. We're making it through the summer barely by the skin of my teeth because we took the kids to the pool this week and my son was like, "Can you dive off the diving board?" And I'm like, "Oh, son, can I? Your mama was on the swim team. I can dive off the diving board." So I took my 33-year-old butt to the YMCA diving board and executed one of the most flawless dives of my life. Nick said it looked great. Except when I came up, my shoulders felt like they had been ripped out of their sockets. They still hurt.
Just
my
from,
right shoulder,
lifting them over your head?
I think I danced when I hit the water. And my right shoulder blade, like in my back area shoulder blade, has been twitching all day while I've been researching. And it's pissing me off so bad. That was 3 days ago. What is wrong with me?
Oh my god. You need to get like a massage gun on that thing or something.
I know. I have a massage gun, but I can't move my shoulders to get back there. I need Nick. I need assistance.
Oh man. Yeah, being 30 is so good.
I came back and I was like, "Oh, did I play that off good? Did it look good?" Nick was like, "Yeah, it looks great." I'm like, "Good, I'm not doing that again." Thank God.
My arms will fall off if I try that.
Yeah. I'll look like a Barbie missing an arm. I just can't do it. Anyway, you wanna just hop in?
Let's do it. We spent
a
lot of time yakking pre-recording, so
we sure did. So sorry y'all missed that, but we got a really serious episode to talk about today. So
okay,
let's get into the skit. December 30th, 1940, England. A local fisherman is frantically packing up enough supplies for a few days. His wife paces in the kitchen, fretting over the decision her husband has made. He makes his way down the stairs, just as the doorbell rings. "Dear, John's here. We need to go."
I wish you wouldn't.
"You heard Churchill. He just needs the boats."
He needs the boat, not you. Let one of the Navy borrow her.
"No one knows that boat the way I do. If someone else captains her, they'll sink her. They're willing to take volunteers, and I need this boat for us to make a living."
No, We need you to make a living. We can get another boat after the war's over. There are plenty of soldiers.
We won't have soldiers if we don't get them back. They're surrounded.
But what about the German ships, the bombs, the submarines? What if you don't make it back?
Shh, 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 shh. It's worth a shot, dear. If I can bring back some of our men, it will be worth it. I promise I'll do everything in my power to make it back home to you. The couple said their final, tearful goodbyes. The two men made their way down to the shipyard to join the rest of the small boats gathering for the same journey. Over the next few days, approximately 850 of these so-called little ships would go across the Strait of Dover to Dunkirk to participate in the rescue of hundreds of thousands of British and French troops during Operation Dynamo.
Ooh, I got chills.
Are you ready to talk about the evacuation of Dunkirk?
Yes. I feel like we've talked, like Dunkirk has come up in a few of our episodes, but we've never done a dive into the actual day.
Yes. I have been wanting to do this for a very long time because I believe it's a Christopher Nolan movie called
I think so.
Dunkirk. It came out a couple years ago. It's an excellent movie if you know the story of Dunkirk. Yeah. If you don't know the story of Dunkirk, you're just sitting there and you're like, what is happening? I need more explanation. There's really not a lot of talking in that movie for some reason. Whatever, it was a good movie. Please just know the story before you watch it. That's the only, because I didn't know and I had to Google it and then I'm like, oh, all of that makes a lot of sense now. Yeah. I was like, why are they just standing on the beach? Anyway.
I'm impressed you watched a movie.
You said that right when I took a drink.
Sorry. I'm sorry. You okay?
Yes, it's fine. Yeah, it was the husband's fault. Like, I didn't watch it upon my own accord. But it was good, though.
Yeah.
Anywho, I also want to preface this by saying that this episode was very frustrating to research.
Okay.
I'm sure there are books that detail it out pretty well. But from what I had access to me, it was really hard to hone down like a timeline. Because everyone wants to just say, oh, they went over and they got the people and they came back. And I'm like, I need more than that. Yeah. So if I fudge a day or two, I did find a pretty good timeline and then fit it in as best as I could. Don't come at me, guys. It took me like 12 sources to get to this point, okay?
Yeah.
Anyway, it was just really disheartening to me that this was such a pivotal point in the war, even though it's so early on in the war, that we don't just have easy access to just like the information.
Right.
I want to see that. Because as we'll see, this was a very big make or break point in World War II, and it was just within the first, I think, like 6 or 8 months of the war.
Yeah, this was, I'm trying to remember, because we talked a little bit about it when we were talking about the Nazis and their drug use, and, like, if it wasn't for this, and, like, you know, because the maneuver that they were doing, like, and the fog and everything that happened, like, they could have won the war at this point.
Yeah, we will get into that as well as kind of a refresher, but, yeah, another really good episode to listen to before this one is the Hallucinazis episode that we did way back
years ago.
Years ago. So, let's get into the phony war. I had never heard this term before, but listen, guys, there are lots of things that happen to the lead up and the start of World War II. We're not going to get into all the lead up. If you don't know it by now, Google it. For this episode. So let's start with September 1st of 1939. This was Germany invades Poland.
Yes.
And Great Britain and France respond 2 days later by declaring war, of course, as you do. And the very rapid defeat of Poland. It was like a whole lot happened on that day, the very rapid defeat of Poland, and then nothing for a long time. A long time in war is like, months.
Yeah.
But it was kind of like a stalemate in Western Europe. And this is where the term phony war comes from, because there was like a tiny skirmish here, a little tiny something there, but nothing really happened from September of 1939 all the way until May of 1940.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what, September? 8 months.
Yeah.
That's a long time. So both sides seem to be kind of content at just kind of remaining behind their defenses, pointing fingers, being like, we're at war. Ha
Right.
ha. During this time, Great Britain sent pretty much all of their troops to France to protect it. And Morgan, I do have some maps if those help at all.
I love maps. Yes.
I love a map too. So, and I have tons of pictures. You can just scroll.
You do. You did a good job.
Look at me getting all those. Great Britain had sent all of their troops over to France and Belgium and was fortifying. If you look at the one with the blue lines, they're fortifying these lines. Now, this red line here is the German forces. So the red is the Axis powers. And they're kind of just, like I said, holding their ground. Well, over this time, between November and May, Great Britain sends all their troops over, and they send a ton of machinery and supplies and trucks and ambulances and munitions and everything they need. And between Great Britain and France, they're thinking they've got it handled, right? These are professional soldiers, right?
Right.
But let's be honest, Great Britain on the home front is also bracing itself for an all-out German air attack. It is really hard to think that during this time, as Americans, it's hard to imagine because we're far away.
Yeah.
It takes a long time to get from, let's just say Germany to here. Great Britain, in comparison, is like a hop, skip, and a jump.
Yeah.
So they are also preparing civil defense.
Yeah.
On
which, I mean, they needed to, because the Germans could just fly over and then fly back within the same night.
Yeah. And they started the conscription, food rationing, and actually started using public transportation for military purposes. And because this was happening so early in the war, it was very discomforting for citizens and very kind of like an anticlimax in Britain. It was like, oh, we've done all this stuff for nothing to be happening right now. Our troops aren't even over here. They're in France, and they're just sitting there in France.
People don't always see like the necessity of prevention.
No. So, in the meantime, while everyone is sitting there twiddling their thumbs, kind of waiting, I guess no one wants to be the first person to attack, but
yeah,
except Germany, I guess, because in the meantime, in the spring of 1940, they decided to go ahead and launch attacks against Scandinavia and more of Western Europe. And Norway is strategic to Germany and the Allies, both like physically and economically.
Mm-hmm.
And Hitler decided he was going to be the first to move. And they invaded Norway by sea and air on April the 9th of 1940. So we're getting out of that stalemate here. It is important to say that Norway would not fall for another 2 months. They were able to hold them back for 2 more months, which
wow. That's very impressive.
Oh, shit. Because, guys, remember, this is fresh German Nazi power. incredibly powerful. Crazy powerful.
Yes.
This is before everyone was just strung out on drugs.
Yeah.
The drugs were there, but
they weren't strung
out yet. So, on May the 10th of 1940, Germany also launches an attack on France, Belgium, and the Netherlands, which we can see in our maps here, and officially brings the stalemate to an end. According to the Allied plans, the 2 French armies and the 9 divisions of the BEF, or the British Expeditionary Force, I don't know why I have to think about that word every time, the British Expeditionary Force, advanced into Belgium, confronted the German attacks there, and so they're now fighting within France and Belgium and the Netherlands. On May the 13th, 6 German divisions broke through the French defenses along the south side, along the Meuse River, and then came north towards the English Channel.
Doing their blitzkrieg.
I was about to say, one source said, quote, using cutting-edge blitzkrieg tactics. And I giggled so hard because I was like, that was just drugs. The tactic was meth. So the British, understandably, not quite the French yet, but the British was like, get me out of here.
Yeah.
No. We're not doing all this. We are being very, very quickly surrounded. And our back's against the wall. The wall being the Strait of Dover and the English Channel. Like, we have nowhere to go.
Right.
So, on May the 14th, the BBC announced over a broadcast that the Britain's Ministry of Shipping is putting out an urgent request for all boats, quote, with a shallow draft from pleasure craft to private yachts, from Hull to Southampton to report to Dover. It says within 24 hours, about 700 little ships had formed. Now, another source told me, this is why it's so frustrating, another source told me that this BBC broadcast was not quite a call to arms just yet. It was to register their craft in case they need to be used. Okay. So, I don't know if on the 14th, within 24 hours, 700 of these ships, they're like, oh, you need these here. Keep them just in case. Obviously, if you don't use them, give them back. But like,
right.
Or if it was just like hey, if you have a ship, register it so we know it's there in case we need it. We're going to come get it. I don't know if it was like 700 filled out the forms or what. I don't know. I never got a straight answer on that.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like a official we're backing out just yet. It was more of like we're going to wait and see this out, but we might need to get out of here. And General Lord Gort, who was the commander-in-chief of the BEF at the time, as soon as like May 19th, he finally was like, oof, we're getting out of here. So it took him about another week and they were like, no. We gotta go.
Yeah.
But it obviously no one's going to pick up their cell phone and be like,
hey,
send me your private jet. I need my men out of here.
Right.
And then the following day, German forces actually reached the English Channel at the mouth of the Somme near Abbeville. And that completely trapped their forces on the top and the bottom.
Right.
So on that same day, May 20th, Operation Dynamo was authorized. They're like, we got to get our men out of here.
Yeah.
But it was not looking really good for a couple reasons. They didn't have a whole lot of ships.
Mm-hmm.
There were like 1,000 ships that would eventually go across. 850 of those were the little ships. So we're
like
only talking
civilian vessels, basically.
Civilian vessels. So we're only talking like 150 big ships that even went over there that could carry thousands and thousands of people.
Right. And there's hundreds of thousands of men that have to be evacuated, right?
Yeah. There is hundreds of thousands. Yes. We'll get to a final number at the end, but I want to save that for last.
Okay.
The German forces were just continuing to choke out. They're still on the move. Boulogne and Calais were also overtaken during this time. And Dunkirk was the last port in which the Allies could actually get out.
Yeah.
So they start gathering up these vessels during this time. Again, don't know a specific day when they started, but they started gathering up these vessels. And they used tugboats to get them to, where they needed to go. Most of these tugboats, there is a misconception. And I don't remember how the movie portrayed it, but the local, like the myth of the Dunkirk spirit of all these civilians hopping in their ships and going across is not exactly true. I wish it was. I wish that it was, because that's baller, right? Just a bunch of civilians going over. Now, there were some volunteer civilians, but the mass majority of the captains of these little ships were people in the Navy, the naval men.
Yeah.
They're seamen. And they just acquired these little ships, which is, again, still not a small feat. Thinking logistically how fast they got those boats. They just tied them all together and then pulled them with like a tugboat. Yeah, I think I have a picture of how they did that. It's really interesting how they did that, if you can find it.
I just see so many pictures of boats. Oh yeah, I see it. It is like a raft of boats.
Just a raft of boats being pulled, and then people would be assigned to those boats, and off they went. But let's not minimize those volunteers who did actually say, nah, I'm going to go get our men. Yeah. I'm just a dude that owns a boat. Because that did happen. So, how the heck were we going to do this, right? Well, it does help that the universe was on their side. And there's going to be 3 major points that I am going to point out. I will list them as we go along. So,
okay.
Universe help number 1. On May the 24th, the German army just stopped 15 miles from Dunkirk.
Yes. And are you going to go into why?
You go for it.
Okay.
And I'll fill in,
I believe we talked about this in the Nazi episode, but it's because there was one of the Blitzkrieg generals was like getting really, really close, and like Hitler was like, no, I don't want him to do it because then he'll get all the credit for winning the war, and when I want the credit, so he ordered them to stop.
Yes. There has been some hella back and forth. No one knows exactly why. That is one theory. After the war, all of the upper officers were like, it was Hitler's fault. He did it.
Of course.
And he's
not there to defend himself anymore, so.
No. I mean, or is he? Anyway, not getting into that. But did he make it to Argentina? We don't know. So, other theories is that there was just miscommunication, or there was some nobody was agreeing on anything. All honestly very valid theories, because Hitler was like that.
Yeah.
He was, yeah.
Yeah.
It's all plausible, let's be honest. But let's just say we don't know. All of Hitler Hitler's people were to blame. Everyone was to blame for why they stopped. I personally am glad they did, though.
Yeah. Yeah, for real.
Because let's just think for a second. If they had gone on and not halted for a couple days, they could have annihilated the whole British army.
Yeah. Well, and they were, and stop me if I'm like getting into encroaching on your episode, but it was around this time they were also planning, Hitler and, was it Göring, who was leader of the Luftwaffe, and they were like organizing an aerial assault on all of these.
Yes. Well, and I actually was about to bring him up too. I'm glad you said that, because the halt was like, it gave the British and the French time to like defend their lines long enough for people to start getting out. But then the German forces were like, I mean, Göring, I think himself was even like, don't worry about it. If they try to get out by sea, the German Air Force will stop them, no problem, just by bombing them alone.
Yeah.
So Göring is kind of bolstering, let's just say Hitler made the call. Hitler's call of like, you can stop for a few days. We're going to take them over anyway. It doesn't matter.
They'll be fine. Nothing to worry about.
They'll be fine. So finally, it took 6 days. On May 26th, that evening, the ships would be leaving across the strait to go get the men. On that same day, the German forces actually resumed their advancement into Dunkirk. But there were problems with the German, command structure, like I had said. And it slowed down their restart. And it honestly would be days before they realized that the British were actually fully evacuating anyway. They were just trying to yes, they're continuing to try to bomb these people on the beach and whatever. They didn't realize they were fully evacuating until I think the 30th.
Jeez.
Which is wild.
That is so wild. Like, are you watching? You know what I mean?
Well, they're too high to be watching.
That's fair.
So, Monday, May 27th. This is the first full day of Operation Dynamo. The German Luftwaffe completely destroys the Dunkirk harbor. Mm-hmm. But 7,669 troops were rescued that day. And in the first few days, only the big ships, from what I can tell, were able to get there on those first few days. It takes the little ships longer to get there, guys.
Yeah, they're small.
They're trucking it. So, we've got a harbor, the only one that we can use, is now destroyed and on fire. This is where we see Universe Help number 2 come in. The harbor mole. This was the very narrow, half-mile long concrete and wooden breakwater that, those things that come out in the water to stop waves coming into a harbor.
Yeah.
They are not meant to be used like this. But the troops would actually walk on the top of them. The ships would come over and they would just hop on the ship from the mole itself.
Yeah.
So it acted as like another...
like a platform, basically. Yeah.
So, thankfully, that didn't get destroyed.
Yeah.
So, Tuesday, May 28th, the Belgian army surrenders. So now Germany is even closer.
Mm-hmm.
But there were clouds in the sky and smoke helped evacuation efforts, and 17,804 troops were rescued that day.
Wow.
And the first of the little ships arrived early in the morning of, today, the 28th. And they were getting on by both beach and mole, which brings us to universe help number 3, the weather. The first couple days of this evacuation, the weather was amazing. The water was calm. There was just a slight breeze, which allowed the men to actually, like, these little ships would go pretty much all the way onto shore. The men would hop on, and then off they went. And they would either get ferried to the bigger ships, or they would just stay on the little ships and go. I guess if you can load up the big ships and then keep going back and forth, do that. But again, very little surf, was easy to get on from the beach. It allowed people to get loaded up faster, but also that slight wind took the burning port of Dunkirk and blew the smoke across the beach. So they had smoke cover.
Yeah.
From the Luftwaffe trying to, drop bombs they couldn't see.
Yeah.
Which is...
And I've seen people have cited that's a big contributing factor as to why it was so successful, because they
can't see
couldn't
the bomb.
Be targeted anymore.
Yeah. It worked in their favor that they destroyed the pier. Because if it was just a beautiful day,
clear day,
you'd be able to see, But no. Now, Wednesday, May the 29th, this was maximum effort launched by the Luftwaffe. And this day, the French army finally gives it up and says, we can't hold our lines anymore. Get us out to help. Now, I forgot to mention that when they first put this plan together, they thought it was going to be a 2-day ordeal. They were going to get out as many troops as they could. And they only expected to get out 45,000 troops. Now, we have had a couple days of pretty good. 7,600, 17,000. That's an awesome day, right? Tuesday. Well, Wednesday comes along. The Luftwaffe does concentrate its attacks on the mole. So this was the biggest day of loss of British ships. But the Luftwaffe is having a hard time against the British airplanes as well. These fighters are still operating out of Germany. And they're further from Dunkirk than the British fighters are. So they're having to travel a long distance. Well, the British fighters, obviously you have to have gas and things of that nature. They can stay there longer. They're fighting better in the air than the Germans are. On that day alone, when the Luftwaffe was at its peak of attacking them, they still evacuated 47,310 troops that day.
That's crazy.
Now, let's take a pause for day-to-days and think about the mood of these soldiers in these beach conditions. There are hundreds of thousands of soldiers just waiting in lines. And I do believe I have a picture of that as well. They're just standing on the beach. And they'll go from being just like bored and hungry to absolute chaos of these Germans flying overhead, getting shot at, bombs being dropped. They have no cover. The only cover they have is the smoke, and that does go away after a few days.
Right.
And it's almost like every man for himself getting onto the ships. Like, you get on a ship. That's what you don't. Stay with your commanding officer. You get on a ship. Go. And it's really sad that these British soldiers thought that they were coming home kind of like with their tails between their legs. Yeah. They thought they would be vilified for running.
Yeah.
We'll see it later, but this could not have been further from the truth.
Okay, I'm so glad.
But also remember that just because they got on the ships doesn't mean they're safe.
Right, because they're still planes.
They're still planes. And Germans have submarines. That's a thing too.
Yeah.
They have their own ships. So, there's a good amount of them that, like, could you imagine getting on this little boat, going back over the strait, and just the little boat next to you just explodes? Like,
It'd be horrifying.
Horrifying. But it's also said, I heard in one source that they were so tired, because some of them have been standing like in the water for a couple days in line waiting to get on boats. They're so tired they just like laid down and went to sleep where they stood.
Yeah.
Just like they couldn't do it anymore. And I guess if they blow up in their sleep. It's just sad and like horrible.
Yeah. But I mean, like, there's only so, like, when you're that exhausted, like,
yeah, you can't
there's
do
not much
anything.
more you can do. Yeah.
And I'm laughing in that like stress kind of like,
yeah. It's not really funny. It's just horrible. And all I can do is laugh about it.
Yeah. Yeah. So we move on to Thursday, May 30th. It was a day of heavy fog that really interfered with the Luftwaffe.
Yeah.
And the German panzers actually withdrew from Dunkirk. And that day, they were able to rescue 53,823 troops.
Wow.
And also this day, the Admiralty officially requested more of these civilian ships. And I do have like a letter or a whatever that is, a message, telegraph, something of that nature. I don't know where it was sent to, but I think it's really cool. It's dated May the 30th up there.
Yeah.
Throughout the operation, they did continue to gather more ships. So, you know, some were sinking, but they were actively getting more to send over there. On Friday, May the 31st, unfortunately, 35,000 troops were captured in Lille.
Yeah.
Or Lille. So they didn't make it there. But Operation Dynamo had its biggest rescue day that day as well, with 68,014 troops being rescued that day.
That's incredible.
Saturday, June the 1st, the weather was clear, and it gave the Luftwaffe another big day, and it sank 4 destroyers and 27 other vessels. But they still rescued 62,429 troops.
Wow.
And on Sunday, June the 2nd, the BEF evacuation was complete with 26,256 troops rescued. And then Monday, June the 3rd, 26,746 troops were rescued. I believe these are more of the French that were needing to get out. And then Tuesday, June the 4th, was the last day of Operation Dynamo with another 26,175 troops being rescued. Churchill did insist that they go back that last day to get as many French as possible. And that same day, the German forces hoisted the swastika over the docks.
Ooh, I hate it. Ooh.
Could you imagine, like I'm sure this didn't happen, but like you're on the ship and you're going away, and just before like it goes over the horizon, you see the flag go up. Like,
oh, ugh, horrible. Oh, I hate
barely
it.
Got out.
Ugh. I just got nauseous. Ugh. That's so scary.
So horrifying. There were some moments of optimism, like during this process. So the Irish Times reported that, quote, huge formations of German bombers escorted by fighters came out and attempted to sink the craft, one that was participating in this, which were thick on the sea, but the fighters attacked and drove them off, and most of the bombs fell into the sea. One of the British Hurricane pilots disabled in combat with a Messerschmitt had to land on the beach carrying his parachute. He walked 15 miles to Dunkirk, got a lift home to Folkestone in a paddle steamer, rejoined his squadron, and was out on patrol again the next day.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That is wild.
So wild. The British are as people suddenly stirred into vibrant alertness, wrote the Christian Science Monitor. They said, quote, they were given something to do at Dunkirk. They did it. The British Navy that rescued the expeditionary force, I don't know why that fucks me up, consisted of stolid ferry boats, excursion steamers like the erstwhile flippant Brighton Belle, small yachts under amateur skippers. Everybody that could get their hands on a boat, it seemed, pointed its bow towards Dunkirk. That last line killed me. Everybody that could get their hands on a boat.
Goosebumps. Ah!
Let's talk about some final counts and aftermath. The British, obviously with some French assistance, rescued 338,000 men. 224,000 of them were British. Unfortunately, there were 40,000 French troops that did not make it onto the boats. Many of them were taken as POWs. Others were killed. In the grand scheme of things, they did incredible, considering they knew they had this many men and they only expected to get 45,000 of them out.
And it was less than that left, right?
Yeah. Yeah. The cost of this was heavy, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
The British had 760 ships. 228 of them were sunk, most of those being small craft.
Yeah.
And the French had about 300 ships. 60 of those ships were lost. So, again, only a small portion of them were lost. I mean, small portion, I'd say, a quarter of them? A third?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
still.
It's still tragic.
It's still loss of ship, loss of life.
It's tragic, and, when you see how many people did make it, that's triumphant. So it's both, you know.
It's both. Now, there was a Chicago Tribune reporter who actually arrived in Dunkirk on June the 5th, and he observed that, quote, Dunkirk is a pile of rubbish. The wreckage of bomb-shattered buildings chokes its streets. Flames crackle and smoke swirl through the center of town as fires spread unchecked. Dead French soldiers lie where they fell. With no exceptions, every building in the sky, the home of 33,000 persons, was destroyed. Nothing was left intact. Now, what I didn't tell you, Morgan, is that for those fleeing Germany, Dunkirk was where everyone was headed. So there are reports that people fled Germany to find refuge in Dunkirk, only to get here right when everything was bombed out.
That's so sad.
It's sickening. It's giving me like a reaction that people are fleeing for their lives for nothing. Like they didn't make it. And I'm not for nothing, because obviously fight for your life, but like the hate hurts.
Yeah. And it's, these people are trying so hard to save themselves and their families and
just for existing.
Yeah. Ugh.
But this evacuation actually ensured that Britain could continue this war. They unfortunately had been forced to leave behind all of their heavy equipment, tanks, artillery, transportation, everything. They only got the people out, which is incredible.
Yeah.
But also scary if you're in a war. Now you have no weapons.
Right, they all got left behind. Ugh.
64,000 vehicles were left behind. Tens of thousands of guns, hundreds of thousands of munitions. Gone. Now in the enemy hands.
Right.
Honestly.
For them to use against you now.
Like, I understand now why people scuttle ships before they can get into enemy hands.
Yeah.
I'd rather not have it than them have it.
Exactly.
So, this evacuation actually helped the British morale. Remember how I said in the beginning that people were like, this sucks, you know? I don't like, you know, having rations.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, nobody does.
Right.
But Winston Churchill really leaned into this moment and turned it into the People's War. And I think this is where the myth that, like, all these boats were captained by civilians, he turned this into, like, you guys stepped up for the country, which a lot of people did.
Yeah.
And let me make it clear, let me restate it a million times. A lot of these boats were people's livelihoods. If they lost their boat, they weren't making money, and they were compensated if they lost a ship.
But you can tell, like, most of these are just, like, fishing boats.
Yeah, fishing boats, or, like, someone's cabin cruiser. Like,
yeah, or a like, I don't know if they had ferries, because ferries are slow, but, you know, I'm sure something along those lines.
Yeah. And they just got sent into war.
Yeah.
So, the sacrifice that the people did make, just in reality, not even, you know, expounded upon, but, like, in reality, was incredible. And they did show up for their men. And they treated those men like they were heroes when they came home. And it really bolstered the morality, you know, their morale. And it was said that because now we have hundreds of thousands of people coming into these ports, they're like, well, shit, what do we do with them now?
Yeah.
So they had to, like, obviously those who needed medical attention got medical attention first off. Everyone else was, like, kind of loaded up into trains and sent off to, like, regroup. And the word would get out to these towns that this train was coming through. The train would, like, come to stop at the station. People were throwing, like, food and cigarettes and other stuff into the train for these men that just survived.
Oh my god, all the goosebumps I just got on my whole body.
It was just incredible. Like, the support that these people had for these men that went through some very traumatic shit.
Oh,
just
yeah,
now.
I cannot imagine.
And because of this morale boosting thing, you know, us Americans, when we think of World War II, we think of, you know, Uncle Sam Needs You and Rosie the Riveter and this, and, you know, people going to work to build war materials. This is Britain's moment for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they go and manufacture all this lost equipment. And they're able to hang on until they get, not that the U.S. came in and, like, saved the day, but until they got the extra support from the United States a year and a half later. They were able to hang on for another year and a half without any extra help.
Yeah.
They could have lost the war right when it started.
Yeah. Oh, man. Thank you, universe.
Yeah, seriously. I think the universe was like, we know who the good people are.
At least the people not, you know, rounding millions of people up and... Yeah.
That is all I have on that, but I do actually have a little throw. This episode was inspired by a book I recently read called The Book Thief. If you haven't read it, I do highly suggest you reading it. It is about a German girl living in Nazi Germany, and the way that her thought process changes over this book, and the way that Nazi Germany is portrayed is incredible in this book. And it inspired me to do something World War II related, and I've always wanted to do this. So I was sobbing. I was doing laundry, so I was sobbing in my closet at the end of this book because I listened to it. But it just puts a perspective on life then, and how we now can feel very disconnected from something like this. In this book, I'm not really giving anything away, guys. It is narrated by death. So having that perspective of like a third party just looking kind of down on these people living is incredible. But also just seeing, even on the German side, people were straight up not having a good time.
Yeah.
And yes, it is fiction,
Yeah.
but it's set in reality. So, highly suggest it.
I have a historical fiction book I would also like to recommend called The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. It's a very popular book, so I'm sure a lot of people have read it, but I read it on a plane back from Seattle a few years ago, and it's about two sisters who lived in France, and, you know, from their lives, like, at the beginning of the war, throughout the course of the war, and how each of them, like, kind of fights their own little war, where, like, one woman is going out and about trying to join the resistance, and then another woman is at home with her family that in her village that's being inhabited by Nazi soldiers.
Oh, God.
And it's oh my God, the ending had me in tears. It's really good. It's long. It's like a 500-page book, but I also highly recommend The Nightingale for like World War II historical fiction.
That was a book. I read The Book Thief because the book club I'm in, because last month was July, we did war-themed books.
Mm-hmm.
So any book, and it didn't even have to be World War II. It was more like any United States set war, so Revolutionary, Civil, whatever. And this is just the one that got picked. We draw out of a hat, so whatever. The Nightingale was one of those that was put in there. And another one, I haven't read the book, but I've seen the movie, The Light We Cannot See, is also incredible. She's blind.
Oh, wow.
And does a lot with, like, the radios during World War II. And I don't remember if she lives in France. I think maybe France. But it's, it's a good one.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know about the book. I have seen the movie, so there's that.
Okay. Well, there's some reading recommendations for you guys after this amazing episode. Thank you, Emily.
Of course. I have a fun activity for y'all to do. We did this at the book club. We always have, everyone brings a dish, right? So we try to like theme it. So I had the idea that we all bring ration recipes.
Oh, okay.
So I did actually try out 2 ration recipes, and they were pretty good. These people were really killing it with these rations. I'm not going to lie.
What did you make?
One was called a country house cake, and it had like dried fruits. It had no eggs. It had just a little bit of milk and like cinnamon. It was like a spiced cake. Super easy. And then I made honey biscuits, or cookies if you're in America. But they were like a honey shortbread. They were really good.
That sounds really good.
Shy made a scrambled corn macaroni. And I am so confused as to why someone put this together. It was scrambled eggs and cream corn and bacon bits, Worcestershire sauce, and macaroni noodles. And you serve it cold.
You lost me at creamed corn. I can't do creamed corn.
She she put it in the she put it in the trash because she made a big bowl of it.
Yeah, I
And
guess it wasn't very popular.
mm-mm. And she just dumped it in the trash can, and everyone who walked by the trash went,
Ooh, I'm just imagining it. I'm feeling the
yeah. Sarah made a tea cake where, like, you take dried fruits and you soak them in tea, and then you add, like, flour and stuff to it the next day, and you bake it, and it makes like a bread, like a tea bread.
Oh,
it's really cool. Good.
Yeah.
There's some cool ones out there.
Yeah, for sure. There's I saw a recipe from the TikTok baker I watched, B. Dylan Hollis. He made like a coffee bread that was a ration, and it was like powdered coffee. Is one of the ingredients, and he said it was really good. He said it's stodgy, but because it's like a war ration. But he said it was really good.
Yeah, I mean, I made a little bit of honey butter and put it on that cake, and we were vibing. It was good.
And just not eating the egg cream corn macaroni.
I did. I was like, I'm going to try this. And I ate it. And I was like, I ate like 2 bites. And I went, if I was dying of hunger, I could stomach this.
Yeah.
But I'm not. So I'm not gonna. If it was like hot with like a topping, like a casserole, I could probably get past it. Please take the scrambled eggs out of it. Who did that nonsense?
Yeah. No, I mean, I could see it like, I don't like cream corn, but get some like cream of mushroom soup in there, some like fried onion toppings, maybe some like chicken chunks and cheddar cheese.
No. If you do want to do that though, guys, there is a couple websites. You can just Google like World War II ration recipes. There are a ton that people have actually tried them and like made them and made sure that they're edible. Like, put them on websites. So it's really easy to find, but I highly suggest it. It's fun.
Make you some honey biscuits.
Yeah. Honey biscuits. They were really good. Honestly, I dipped mine in coffee the next morning.
This sounds really good.
Yeah. And I dressed up as Rosie the Riveter because I'm extra.
Cute.
I tried to drive the World War II Jeep down, but it's a 40-minute drive in a normal car.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nah, I'm not driving the 80-year-old vehicle.
Yeah.
And it'd take me at least an hour.
Yeah, you need to wear like goggles or something because like the windshield's so short. And
I don't normally. I just let the bugs hit me in the face and go on with life. You're only going, let's just say, 35 miles an hour. So like it's not. It could be worse.
Yeah.
It's a lot of shifting when you get into town, though.
I'm sure.
It's fine. I should
you could do the whole setup, get like the scarf and the goggles and like the driving gloves and stuff.
I almost bought a whole like get up, like a whole army woman outfit just to drive it. And I was like, this is a book club. I need to go. No one else is going to appreciate this like I do. And I was right. They didn't. I was like the only one. Everyone was on theme, but I went full bore. I am Rosie the Riveter. Bought the bandana and everything. Yes.
Yeah.
Which I don't know how to feel about. 90% of that came out of my closet anyway. I just bought the bandana.
Yeah. I mean, thankfully it's
simple.
It's jeans, a denim shirt, and a bandana, and like gloves.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I didn't have the gloves. But I had boots. So, anywho, now we're just rambling. I hope y'all enjoyed this. I hope you understand Dunkirk more, and now you can go watch the movie.
And actually know what's going on.
Yeah. So I'm like, why are they standing there waiting on boats? I don't understand.
Because they don't have a choice.
Don't have a choice. They're surrounded, Emily. They're surrounded. Anyway, Should we get into socials?
Yes, I forgot about socials. I was about to do our K-bye outro.
I mean, we did one time have to just copy and paste our socials from a different episode.
We both forgot
to do them once.
I think we were both like you had a migraine, I had like bronchitis or something, and we're like,
I listened to it back and I was like, oh, I was texting her. I'm like, Morgan, we forgot to do socials yesterday.
We were not well.
No, we were unwell. Anyway, you can find us on Facebook.
Ill-Equipped History Podcast Group and Page.
Instagram.
At Ill-Equipped History.
Gmail.
ill-equippedhistory@gmail.com.
TikTok.
At Ill-Equipped History.
And Patreon.
Patreon.com/ill-equippedhistory.
I don't know if y'all have seen our social media posts today, but we hard drop our Patreon or our merch for the first time. And
oh my god, we have merch.
Oh my god, we have merch. But if you look close enough, you'll see where we're going this year. So there's a little teaser. I did not blur it out. So, ooh. But if you are a Patreon member, you will get an extra 20% off of this shirt. It is $40. Tax and shipping to you, all of that. Please know we're not making a bunch of money. We just want you guys to have stuff. So, please, please, please go buy a shirt. And they will be the same shirts that the Ill-Equipped History Paranormal team will be wearing for our paranormal investigation this year, which is coming up in just a few weeks for us. Obviously, a couple extra weeks for you guys. But we're so excited. We're making this like a mini vacation. I cannot wait.
It's going to be so fun. It's going to be so fun. We're so excited. We've been planning this for actually a long time. Since last year, right?
Since, I believe, like January.
Yeah.
February. Guys, I had to fill out official, like, government permit documents. I had to be like, hi, we're not crazy. Let us ghost hunt at your government-owned facility.
And they were like, cool. We'd love to have you. Thanks.
I was literally getting emails that were like, we discussed this in our meeting today. We were discussed during meetings.
Oh my god, we were discussed in a meeting?
Discussed.
I'm imagining like all the park rangers being like, these crazy freaks want to... These weirdos want to come to our fort late at night. And you said like the two people are going to stay with us are like really excited for us to come, right?
I know one of them is really excited and they convinced another one of them to come because it all hinged on a second one being there. So
this is incredible.
I'm so excited. Oh my god,
you guys. And we have a t-shirt that you can purchase.
Have a t-shirt. You can buy it and you can match us.
Yes.
There's literally no difference. That's what we're getting. Also, I would like to say, if you don't like the shirt, keep that to yourself because I made it.
You can kiss my butt because I love the shirt and Emily is a great job at designing things. And
and I'm not AI.
Yes, exactly. This is a Canva original.
Canva and my talents.
Yes. Your beautiful talents.
Thanks. I pay $15 a month to have the fancy stuff. But we might throw in a sticker in there for you too. Oh, I need to get those ordered. Shit. If your homeboys are stranded, steal a boat and go get them.
Yeah, I don't have anything to add to that. I think that is sound advice.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.